about if you love the products, you will naturally share. So my philosophy's always been to have those oils as quick as possible, do what we said they were going to do. Like we sold people oils, we told them that they were going to fix stuff. So if we deliver that fixing stuff pretty much straight away, then that person's going to shout from the rooftops, and you've got a natural sharer, a natural organic sharer. And it's those people that are your diamonds, because you will notice like, oh my goodness, they enrolled. How did that happen? They couldn't help it. I don't know, a high tea for the school, sharing, I know their baby slept at night.
I love that so much. So that kind of ties into one of the other questions that I did want to ask. And I imagine that this might be different again, depending on how you introduce the idea of the business. But do you have people join specifically to join and do the business? Or do you find that the majority of people are people starting as customers, no intention of doing the business, and have that experience that you just mentioned, where they fall so in love with the products that it's a no-brainer to start telling other people about it?
For me, in my early journey, so I'm nearly 9 years old in doTERRA, that will be early August. And in my early journey, like myself, if you had have told me I was going to lead a Blue Diamond team, I was just like, huh? No, I just want my kid to sleep. And myself. So early days, absolutely, just it was through the passion of the product, those aha moments, and then those organic, oh my goodness, I'm sharing, oh my goodness, what's this, oh my goodness, let's jump on board, I've got money here, what's going on? And now in my journey as it's matured, I know exactly who I'm looking for and what my business needs. And so now I go and search for those that I know that will grab onto the business straight away. And I think that's just a maturity journey.
That is so true, because you kind of get a gist of who has potential as well. And then you have more of a deeper conversation with them when you meet them, or let's just say it's a wellness consult. You have that more of freedom when you're doing a wellness consult face-to-face, because they will ask you, so why do you do this as a business? How do you do it as a business? You get those questions. Not everyone gives you those questions, but when you do get those questions, just like answer them with confidence and just be like, you know, you could do it too. Like, it's doable. You're capable of doing it. And it could be a side hustle thing, because a lot of them will be like, you know, I'm content with my full-time job, but like, you know, being a sharer and getting that little bit of dollars or getting your oils paid for is amazing. And that's where it starts.
Yeah.
And so if I were to wind it back even further, because yeah, I love that, like sharing about your personal journey and what lights you up and what brought you here. So if we were to wind it all the way back, how was the business introduced to each of you, and what kind of lit that spark for you to go, yes, this is where I want to be. This is what I'm going to give it a go. I'll go to you, Sam.
I think like what you mentioned before, Courtney, in regards to you're doing a disservice if you don't tell them about the opportunity. And I think I would not have known, or maybe I would have along the way, but I think I was about 4 months into using the oils, and I was working as a health coach, and I was recommending oils, and I was like buying them and giving them to them, selling it to them and stuff like that. So then I was selling a home essentials kit, and I was like, you know, my friend wants this, that, you know, what's the best deal that she can get? She's like, why don't you do it? I'm like, what do you mean I do it? And then, yeah, and then she explained it to me, because I had no clue how network marketing worked. Like, I've never heard of it. Like, you know, I was, I don't know, late 20s. So my early 30s now. So I've been doing doTERRA for like 4 years now, if not more, using it. And I feel like I'm so grateful to have known that I could do it as a business and doing it. And then it just flourished because the passion was there. So I just feel like, yeah, you're doing a disservice if you don't tell them about the opportunity, if you find that they have a passion to do it as a business.
So true, so true. What about you, Jackie?
It was I was enrolled by Jessie Reimers, so it was introduced straight away. I think she sought me out for the business. originally. And I remember even prior to us really having any conversations about oils, it was very business focused and just had a real need for it. And regardless of whether I wanted to build or not, we were just on this fast track machine. So people were just landing everywhere. And I had that experience with the oils really, really quickly, because within 2 days, my little guy was sleeping and I was sleeping as an on-call registered nurse for the first time in my career. Actually, my life, I was sleeping well. So that aha moment was established really, really quickly. So because I had all this building around me, it was just, I became an organic sharer pretty quickly. And I didn't realize really the power of the business and what we had created, because I was just sharing until I hit gold. And then it was like, oh, this is a multi-level marketing business and I'm in charge of quite a large organization here. Let's kind of look at the structure of the business and what's this about. And I suppose that naturalness and that kind of ease and non-focus on the business, just on fun and sharing and making a difference is how I almost sell the business now and onboard my builders in that way.
So good. And those words there, that making a difference. I know for me personally, I've been doing this for almost 6 years, and I've gone through periods where I was like very loudly speaking about the business, and then kind of a lull where maybe for a 2-year period there, I really shied away from speaking about it. And that realization for me, like when I reflect on why I joined the business, it was because my upline is Alice Nichols. She spoke to me about that opportunity from the get-go. And I was the same. I was not interested. I ghosted her for a year, you guys. I ghosted her. But if she hadn't have told me, and she never said, hey, you have to do this, but she gave me the information so that I could make a decision with that. And if she hadn't have done that, my life would not be as amazing as it is now. I would not have this in my life. So that's kind of the way that I treat this now. You know, everywhere I am, I'm making sure that that is a part of the conversation, that all those different pathways, whether it's loved up customer, sharer, or actually creating a legacy with doTERRA, I want people to know that. And then they get to choose where they go with it. So moving on to when we're actually onboarding people, right? Because I think there's a lot that can happen there. It's so exciting when you finally get someone that says, yes, I'm interested in doing this with you. I want to partner with you. What are the next steps? And that can be the point for a lot of us where we go, ooh, what do I do next? What do I do? How do I help this person? And they're so like, we're so fortunate in doTERRA, no matter which team you are in, that we have so many amazing resources available to us. Like I went the other day onto the Empowered Success website, doTERRA's website, and forgot about the amazing depth of content that is there. But sometimes it is that depth of content, there is so much available that it becomes really overwhelming and not knowing where to start. So I'll start with you, Jackie. I'd love to know when somebody first comes to you and says, yes, I want to partner with you. I want to start doing the business, or whatever language they use there. What do you have a flow or a system, or what are those first steps you take to empower them to get started?
See this little thing here that everyone gets?
I can see it.
On enrollment. I ask them to open that and read it. So we go through we start with a wellness consult, a 3-month plan, and then we open up the build guide, and I start actually at page 6 and 7 and look at has everyone got their build guide? If you've got it, go grab it. And then I talk everyone through the income levels and the ranks, because they are solid, and those incomes in there are very real. And then from there, I ask them to pick what it is they want. And then I literally follow the procedure in the launch guide, in the build guide. So the doTERRA business building guide, which is like this 200,000 page document, is amazing, but it is overwhelming. So I keep it to the absolute basics. And my job is whatever my new builder wants to achieve, my job is to show them the money and the possibility and the opportunity as quickly as possible. So that's launching someone to Elite or Premier as soon as we can get there. So it's very individual around their unique needs, their scope of influence, their genius. And we book classes, whether that's online, whether that's face-to-face. I run them, I show them the ropes. We get that fast start coming in as soon as possible. We set up that power of 3 structure. And I am a huge fan of a wellness advocate only, because you can't build underneath customers. So if we can give some depth, not only uni level first up, as well as power of 3, we've created that trust in the business, that show them the money. And then there we tailor make a more specific program around education. Oh, I have to go. I'll be back in a sec. I apologize.
That's okay. That was such a fantastic answer. I loved all of that. So what about you, Summer? What does that look like for you?
Okay, firstly, you obviously do a happy dance. And then you freak out. You're like, what do I do? So I kind of tell them that, I'm here for you. Whatever questions you have, I'm open to answering them throughout the day. Even if it's an 11 p.m. question, I'm going to answer it, because I feel like, the first few weeks are so important for them to kind of understand hold their hand pretty much. And then after that, you won't really have to hold their hand much. And it's amazing when they're switched on, because they're passionate. So really they're going to be doing their own research. And I kind of tell them what I did. Like I give them a little bit of my story, like I was so excited about doing the business side. I was going onto doTERRA's website and reading things, and then, going onto YouTube and stuff like that. But then I realized I could reach out to my upline. So I reached out to Zainab, my diamond leader, and, she helped me. She did a consult, because we did it online, because she's in Melbourne, I'm in Sydney. And and then just give them that reassurance, that safety net, that it's going to be okay. It's easy, it's doable. And then, like Jackie said, give them realistic goals and talk them through them. So it's kind of so if you want to enroll 3 this month, or 4 or 5, or you want to reach Elite, give them those realistic goals, how to reach that. And definitely talk about Power of 3, because if they get the $50 bonus as well as their fast start, that's amazing, right? But obviously they would have to get to that Power of 3 point. So it's kind of talking about how to enroll. The build guide, definitely get them to know their what they are capable of earning ranks, and also the compensation plan is awesome. And I reassure them, this is all gibberish. You'll understand it once you experience it, from my own experience, and also helping them to enroll. So I would give them that opportunity to host a class, and I will do it with them. So I give them that guidance, and you can do it too. I will be side by side, and we'll do that together. And a lot of the time we do that. We do a class together, and then they realize how fun it is, and then they'll be able to do it on their own. There's just so much things that you could teach them in the first few weeks or months, but there's always something to learn, just the same way I'm still learning till now. I'm a gold leader, and I still reach out to my uplines, my crosslines. How do we do this? What can we do? Something different. Let's change it up and do it together. And always doing things together is awesome. So I think that's awesome. Holding their hand and doing it together is probably the best way to go, and educate them as they experience those experiences, enrolling, earning, LRP, 100 PV. Oh my God, it's a lot. It is a lot, but just don't freak them out with so much info. So that's kind of my experience with my builders.
It's funny. I always laugh at the how much of that doTERRA lingo there is at the start when you start it, and you see their faces go, ooh. I think that community and connection piece that you kind of mentioned in there, that, you know, is really, really important as well. And I reflect on when I first joined the business and I knew nothing about network marketing, but I was a part of this really amazing team, and having that support and feeling really celebrated. I personally feel that really recognizing and celebrating every one of those milestones that they hit is really important as well. So I love that you mentioned that. I'd love to ask just like just for a bit of perspective. So with people that are typically joining you in your business, are they often local to you or kind of all spread apart? And do you find that a lot of them are building in person or online, or a little bit of both?
Oh, I have a lot of them are actually, in Sydney based. Like they've met me before. And I feel like it's when you have that connection, even if it's online, like, because we don't really see each other face to face all the time. But a lot of it is once they're in the chat groups and then they're chatting with you and then they feel so comfortable. You're chatting about weird things, personal things and all that kind of stuff. That's when you get that trust and then they want to do the business with you. I have one of my builders, she's new. So she popped up during Diamond Club, which was amazing. And she does everything face to face. Rarely anything online because she doesn't show us her face online on socials. So she's very social, like face to face, interactive, and she enrolls like crazy that way. And it was so inspiring to me because it's like I built my business in lockdown. So a lot of us are online builders that are in my team. So when she came up, I was just like, wow, like, how do you do it? Like, teach me. I think it's the best of both worlds, face to face, online. I am mostly online. Just you can tell when they have the potential to be successful because the passion is just there. When they ask you a lot of questions, that's when you know, oh, this person has potential. Yeah.
And do you find when you're bringing on new builders, you're saying like, you know, you've got this amazing new builder who is doing incredible things in the face-to-face space. And then you've got builders maybe perhaps more like you who are doing it predominantly online. Do you find that the information and training or support that you give them in that first part of their business is the same or different depending on how they want to build? Or is the core of what we need to teach them exactly the same?
I think it's similar but different because when you're online, a lot of it is showing your face, how to speak confidently about sales and so on. You know how it is online. And also the website, preparing the website for them, how to add the links and whatnot. But then when it's face-to-face, it's so much easier. You kind of encourage them to do more sampling. Have your oils with you all the time. Make sure you sample when you kind of suggest something. And then on the spot, you know, you can do it on your phone. You can have your laptop with you, or you can even have, you know, the form with you. So it's so different to online. And yeah, what else is there? So this is other than just the technicality of, you know, doing the business side. I'm talking about more like them initiating and getting customers. Yeah, it's very different. But how to explain it? It's interesting. Like I've learned a lot from her and her approach. She's just so confident. And that's a huge thing with doTERRA, just being confident and just speak it out. Don't say, if you want to, just say, so what are we going to do now? How are we going to get the oils into your hands? Instead of saying, you know, oh, it's $330. Like, you know, this one's better, but you can get the $185. No, it's like 15 mils. You're getting, you know, value for your money. Go for this. Trust me, you will not regret it. So confidence. Yeah. And she has that and it's awesome. So when you speak face to face, I think you get more of a response by seeing their face and you know how to speak to them rather than typing. Yeah, so it's very different.
Agree. I think like a lot of like the core things that we're sharing are the same, but it's those little elements of the practicalities that change a little bit. And one thing that I will often share, because I have a lot of people that join wanting to build online, it's understanding that sometimes those relationships do take a bit longer to develop, where in those face-to-face classes, you can walk away after a 2-hour class and have everyone leave the room with a Home Essentials kit. It's a very different experience there. So Jackie, I might throw that same question to you. I don't know if you've heard it, but I was just asking Summer if she teaches when her new builders come on, if they're building online or if they're building face-to-face, does it change the way that you onboard them as a new builder in your team?
Not really. The basics are still the basics. We just fine-tune it for the different environment. You can still have 20 people in a class online. It just, there's more preparation pre and more, I suppose, follow-up post than a face-to-face class. So I love to have oils in front of people if we're doing a specific class, so sending out those samples. Or actually sometimes having like little family members, so a group of girlfriends all sitting around the screen together so they can share in that experience. And that makes a difference as well. And then you would empower the people who brought, the advocates who brought the people to the class to do their follow-up and their consults and whatever specials for the enrollment after an online class. I build predominantly face-to-face, but the wonderful, if I can say one interesting, wonderful thing about the last couple of years was the pivot online. And I was always fearful of, just all these shiny unicorns build online, but not until you're forced to do it that you have to do it. And it is very similar in my experience anyway.
I think that's great. So if we were to maybe try and summarize, if we had brand new builders coming onto every single one of our teams, which we're going to, and we were to pick maybe like the top like 5 or so things that we would want our brand new builders to know. I'm going to recap a few that have stuck out to me that you have said. So I loved, Summer, you kind of talking about like that belief in the value of the Home Essentials kit. I think that's so super important. I think understanding how you get paid. Jackie, you mentioned talking through the compensation plan. Understanding the sheer, like the incredible opportunity, which is in those build guide pages. So what other things would you say are in that core, most important things to empower a new builder with? On the spot.
You go.
Being there for them. So being their biz mentor. So knowing that you are always on call. Yeah, I think that's so important at the beginning, because a lot of them feel like they can't approach you because they're like, so sorry, it's 8:30 p.m. but like, it's okay. You know, I want to help you be successful in this. So I've got to be there, you know. I don't know how everyone works, but like that's how I feel we should support them at the beginning. I think support is huge at the beginning.
Love that.
Absolutely. And I think ongoing too. Like you're always there. You are their wellness coach and you are their business mentor coach. And that doesn't change whether they're 3 months in, whether they're 6 years in, because the power is in that community. And the power is in that togetherness to change outcomes. I always instill every month, have you enrolled for yourself? Have you enrolled for and or for others? Power of 3, let's secure that. And really it's power of 4, power of 5. So what that actually means, let's secure that. Wellness consults, have you shared? Have you sampled? Have you run a class? Have you actively changed someone's life? And if you are time poor, the value is in the Pipers activities. And Pipers is pipes with an R, and the R is recruiting. So always have that business conversation. as well as everything else. So if you just have that as your core business activities and hit repeat every month, you have that solid basis, and the business works for you because it will provide you with that opportunity, it will provide you with that income coming in, and it will build the trust and the faith moving forward.
I think another thing is adding them to, the doTERRA business communities, as well as your own little communities, knowing that other people struggle. I'm not just telling you all the highlights of it, letting them know of it's not easy. I'm not going to guarantee you success in the next month, but, it's a process, it's a passion, and then you will get success along the way. And if they see other people struggle, then they feel okay and they'll keep going. So I think community is awesome. So adding them to a community, even the doTERRA Facebook groups and stuff like that. So I love all that stuff.
And we're so lucky we have Grow now. I mean, when we all started, Grow wasn't around. So being able to empower your young guns to achieve that early on is really, really important. And find a doTERRA best friend, best buddy, who will actually hold your hand through the good, the bad, the ugly, the tears, at a similar rank, a similar passion point that will really take you through.
Yeah, I love that.
Found that in my doTERRA journey, creating really beautiful friendships with Crosslines, people in other teams, and that's one of the most beautiful things about our doTERRA community is there never seems to be any like us against them. It's all just this beautiful network of support. And so do that, connect with other people from other teams who are at the same stage of the business as you, because for me, that just really hit me in the feels there, Jackie, because that's been one of the best things that has supported me through my business. And I'm so, so grateful for the amazing friendships and support that I've found within this community. So it's really, really special. The last question I want to ask is just so, and you kind of slightly touched on this, but I'd love to go a little bit deeper. So what do you find works really well for you and your team when it comes to maintaining that long-term support with your business team? So keeping up that support and that connection, what does that look like for you? I'll go to Jackie first.
We have met fortnightly as business mentor calls for baby builders right through to my established leaders. We have done that fortnightly for I don't know how long. And then monthly, my inner circle, we meet, and we often meet with our account management team to actually set goals and work on a different level to, I suppose, working with the younger ones coming through. We have a very chatty leadership group that content is added to literally every day, a couple of times a day, and we encourage involvement, sharing, participation.
I love that so much. What about you, Summer?
A lot of us are chatterboxes. So we speak daily pretty much. So we're all on WhatsApp and we're always chatting daily, if we have issues or whatever. So supporting each other in that way. We always share motivational reels or podcasts on the WhatsApp group, and we listen to it or we don't listen to it, or we just give each other ideas. And we always just pick each other up. So I feel like that's so supportive. And like Jackie said, we have either monthly or weekly Zooms. Shema, I know Shema does with her team weekly Zooms, and sometimes I'll jump in there. Zainab does for our team, for our builders, a monthly Zoom. We're always chatting. We have all different kinds of groups. So I just feel like interacting daily is the best way to go.
Beautiful.
Otherwise you just lose your momentum and and it's happened to a lot of us, I'm sure. When you lose that connection, you kind of just fall away and you just feel like, I need to grab back onto you guys, I'm dying. Yeah, I've had that. So yeah, I need that every single day.
Love it. I love it. So we're going to go to Q&A shortly. But I just want to say thank you both so much for giving so generously tonight, for sharing your wisdom. Like personally, as someone who loves talking about the business, I've taken away so much from what you've both shared tonight and feel even more inspired than ever, especially leading into convention next week where we all get to see each other. So I just want to say thank you for your time tonight. Thank you to everybody who's jumped in and joined us live. It's great to see so many. And we look forward to having you all back next month for the next episode of Becoming Influential, the chat show for modern marketers.